something almost unnerving about watching a true millionaire in the middle of a crisis. While everyone else panics, spirals emotionally, collapses under pressure, and makes impulsive decisions that destroy their future, millionaires move through the chaos with a different kind of energy. Steady, grounded, rational, almost serene. Not because they don't feel fear, not because they are superhuman, not because they're immune to uncertainty. They stay calm because they have built a mindset, a system, and an internal structure that makes panic impossible. They know something most people don't. They understand a psychological and financial truth that changes everything. Crises are not threats. They are windows of opportunity, and only those who remain calm can walk through them. What most people don't realize is that calmness is not a personality trait. Calmness is a financial skill. Calmness is a learned advantage. Calmness is a strategic weapon, and millionaires train this calmness long before they ever accumulate wealth. They practice it through discipline, exposure, repetition, and an internal philosophy that reshapes the way they process fear. They understand that crisis is not a moment to react emotionally, it is a moment to act intelligently. Emotional reactions are expensive. Panic destroys wealth. Fear shuts down opportunity. Impulse blinds logic. And when the world becomes chaotic, most people lose everything not because of the crisis, but because of their reaction to it. Millionaires stay calm because they built a mindset stronger than any external storm. One of the first reasons millionaires stay calm during crises is that they understand cycles. The average person sees a crisis as something unexpected, shocking, catastrophic, unfair. Millionaires see it as part of the natural rhythm of the world. Economies expand and contract. Markets rise and fall. Businesses grow and correct. Inflation spikes and settles. Interest rates move up and down. Uncertainty appears and disappears. Nothing stays stable forever, and millionaires know this. They study history, patterns, market psychology, long-term movement. They expect crises, which means they are never blindsided by them. Panic comes from surprise. Calm comes from preparation. When you expect storms, you stop fearing them. Millionaires also stay calm because they operate from strong foundations. They build emergency funds, diversified portfolios, multiple income streams, backup plans, skill stacks, and financial buffers. They do this because they know that calmness is not built in the crisis. It's built before the crisis. They prepare when things are good so they don't collapse when things go bad. Most people live with no savings, no investment strategy, no additional income sources, no margin for error. They are one emergency away from financial disaster. And when a crisis hits, they panic because they have no stability to stand on. Millionaires remain calm because their foundation is strong enough to survive turbulence. Another reason millionaires remain calm is that they don't attach their identity to their circumstances. Most people panic because they feel personally threatened. They see crisis as an attack on their sense of self, their security, their worth. Millionaires view crisis as data. They detach emotion from the situation. They separate who they are from what is happening. They don't see crisis as an identity crisis. They see it as an external event requiring an intelligent response. This emotional separation gives them clarity while others drown in fear. Clear thinking becomes their competitive advantage. Millionaires also stay calm because they understand risk better than the average person. Poor and middle-class individuals typically fear risk because they don't understand it. Wealthy individuals analyze risk because they've studied it, experienced it, and mastered it. They understand probability, exposure, volatility, downside protection, opportunity cost, and long-term outcomes. They know exactly what they can lose, exactly what they can survive, and exactly what holds long-term value. They have frameworks for assessing decisions instead of reacting impulsively. Crisis doesn't scare those who understand risk, it scares those who don't. Beyond risk, millionaires stay calm during crises because they trust themselves. Confidence is not arrogance. It is built through competence. They trust their ability to adapt, to learn, to pivot, to recover, to strategize. They trust that even if something collapses, they can rebuild. They trust their skills more than circumstances. Most people panic because they don't trust their ability to navigate challenges. Millionaires stay calm because they know that even if everything goes wrong, they are not helpless. They are not dependent. They are not fragile. They have built themselves into individuals capable of surviving anything. But perhaps the most powerful reason millionaires stay calm during crises is that they understand value shifts. In every crisis, wealth moves, from emotional hands to rational hands, from impulsive hands to strategic hands, from fearful hands to prepared hands. Crisis is a transfer of wealth. Panic sells, patience buys, fear collapses, strategy expands. Millionaires know that crises are moments when assets become undervalued not because they lost real worth, but because people panic. They know that these windows may only open a few times in a lifetime. They know that wealth accelerates the most during downturns. So while most people freeze, millionaires look for opportunities hidden inside the chaos. Discounted equities, undervalued property, distressed assets, expansion opportunities, acquisition possibilities, competitive openings. They know that crisis reveals discipline, exposes weakness, and rewards those who remain calm enough to execute. Another element to their calmness is their control over information intake. The average person consumes fear-driven media, emotional headlines, dramatic narratives, and sensationalized noise. They flood their mind with anxiety. Millionaires filter information. They seek data, not drama. They focus on trends, not panic. They analyze fundamentals, not headlines. They protect their mental bandwidth because they understand that in crisis, clarity is wealth. Information is a tool, and they choose information that allows them to make strategic decisions instead of reactionary ones. Millionaires also remain calm because they see crises as temporary. Most people, during a crisis, believe the worst moments will last forever. They get trapped in emotional time distortion. They catastrophize. They imagine permanent collapse. Millionaires zoom out. They see crisis as a moment, not a lifetime. They know that markets recover, economies stabilize, and opportunities return. They understand that nothing lasts forever. Not success, not failure, not expansion, not contraction. This long-term perspective is one of the biggest financial advantages a person can possess. Another reason millionaires stay calm is because they have learned to control their physiology. Panic starts in the body long before it reaches the mind. Heart rate increases, breathing quickens, cortisol surges, thoughts race. Millionaires train themselves to stay physically composed because physical calmness produces mental clarity. They practice breath work, pacing, stillness, controlled pauses, reflective thinking. They understand that controlling the body during crisis allows them to control their decisions during crisis. But one of the most overlooked reasons millionaires stay calm is their ability to detach from the crowd mentality. Most people behave identically during crises. They sell when others sell, fear when others fear, freeze when others freeze, follow when others follow. Millionaires have trained themselves to think independently, to stand alone, to resist the emotional contagion of the masses. They understand that herd behavior destroys wealth. They remain calm precisely because they do not react the way everyone else reacts. Calmness is their competitive edge. Millionaires stay calm because they know who they want to be on the other side of the crisis. They visualize the position they want to occupy once the situation stabilizes. They see beyond the noise. They think about trajectory, positioning, reputation, influence, capital, expansion. They understand that the seeds planted during the hardest moments grow into the strongest future advantages. Crisis is not something they endure. It is something they use. Another profound reason millionaires maintain calm is that they've been through crises before. They've been punched in the face by life, failed publicly, lost money, made mistakes, survived fear, endured setbacks. They've developed emotional resilience through exposure. They have proof that they can handle turbulence. Once you've lived through enough storms, you stop fearing the rain. Millionaires also stay calm because they know panic is expensive. Panic leads to bad decisions. Selling low, buying high, quitting too early, reacting too late, withdrawing too soon, ignoring long-term strategy. Calmness preserves wealth. Calmness preserves clarity. Calmness preserves opportunity. Calmness preserves self-control. The final and deepest reason millionaires remain calm during crises is that their identity is not built on their circumstances, but on their capacity. They have built themselves. They have built their skills. They have built their confidence. They have built their systems. They have built their intelligence. They have built their discipline. And because their identity is built internally instead of externally, no crisis can shake who they are. And that is exactly why millionaires stay calm. Not because they are lucky, not because they're fearless, not because they're chosen, but because they have built a mindset capable of surviving and thriving through anything. Calmness is not their personality. Calmness is their strategy. Calmness is their weapon. Calmness is their financial advantage.